Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. In this video today, as you guys can see up on the screen, we're going to be talking a little bit about Sofi Technologies Incorporated. This is ticker symbol SOFI, the same as the name of the company. And today, Sofi had a very good day, up 4.72% in just a single day. That is obviously tremendous performance. Now, obviously a lot of SoFi investors, I'm sure, would like to see this thing upwards of $10, if not much higher, but still $10 is kind of that next psychological hurdle that we've crossed above a couple of times, but then we go right back down, and then just sitting above 10, I think would be really nice in the minds of a lot of people. Overall, the stock market today had a pretty good day. I mean, an okay day for depending on what companies or what indices or whatever, but Dow Jones up 0.3, nothing to write home about, but S&P up 0.81, pretty good. NASDAQ almost up 2 full percentage points, and the Russell up 0.2. So everything was green, a lot of green in the market, all over the place, and SoFi outperformed all the major indices. Being up 4.72% is a very good day. In this video, we're going to be going over all the latest for SoFi, some different news and stories and stuff that they have going on, so you guys can be up to date on the latest. So definitely drop a like if you do enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Help us run those numbers up a little bit. And of course, as always, there's going to be no financial advice in this video. I'm not telling you guys to buy. I'm not telling you guys to sell. Nothing like that. Just giving my thoughts and opinions on some news, some stories, and the stock market in general. So with that being said, let's get right into this one. So the crazy part is, and you guys already know this, hey, we're into April now. We're into the fourth month of the year. We have 3 full months of stock market moves and action behind us. And SoFi is down 37.69% on the year. This is including today's almost 5% upward movement. I mean, that is crazy that we're in a position where even after 5% upward days, we can still be down 37% in just 3 months. That is rough. It just shows how, kind of overall rocky the stock market has been to start 2022. I mean, for a lot of stocks and for even some of the major indices, it's been like a historically bad start to the year, and definitely just an overall bad year. You expect things to go up, maybe not always up insanely high or crazy high or anything, but when the S&P is even down on the year through the first 3 or 4 months, that's not a great year. That's a little bit bad luck. It's not really how things go or how we expect them to go. But we do see, most stocks bottomed out around, mid-March. And, hey, since then, SoFi's up 23%. So stuff is hopefully turning around a little bit. Hopefully better days are ahead. But who knows? This thing could go either way. What we do have from the SoFi stock subreddit is some news. SoFi UAE, obviously the United Arab Emirates, is now openly hiring. This is a really good thing. This shows that this has been rumored, or maybe not even rumored, maybe openly talked about for a while. SoFi expanding to some different regions, the UAE being one of them. But this is cool. They're actually hiring. Here we have job postings and job positions for accountants and technical accountants in the UAE. So this is cool, seeing them branch out more and more. Obviously, ideally, they're going to dominate the United States and North America. This is probably where a lot of money is going to be made, where a lot of opportunity is going to be. And ultimately, at the end of the day, maybe where SoFi is either going to succeed or fail. But these other areas, all over the place, there are going to be some good opportunities for SoFi as well. Maybe places where they can, obviously increase their membership growth, their revenue, and maybe reach profitability, putting them over the top of some of these other regions and stuff. So this is cool that they're actively looking to expand and grow. Now, there is one argument that says, hey, maybe we should focus on North America first before we go out and do some of this stuff. But then some other people are like, hey, the more the merrier. If you're able to execute both at the same time on a high level, then we're just going to speed up this whole process. We're going to speed up this whole timeline. So that could be cool. We'll see how that goes. I also wanted to hint on a couple of different articles here from Seeking Alpha. You can see the 2 headlines here. I don't want to go into the articles too much, and I know Seeking Alpha has a limit of how many articles you can even read each month or whatever. It's kind of stupid, so I don't want to get into that too much. But here, Seeking Alpha says about SoFi, they're still long. The bears will eventually be humbled when talking about SoFi. That's obviously very good news for SoFi investors, shareholders, whatever, stakeholders, and the company. And then they also say SoFi student loan moratorium extension is likely, so don't buy this thing today. Because again, we had heard recently SoFi putting out some statements that's like, hey, we haven't heard anything about the moratorium extending, so let's operate under the assumptions that it's going to be lifted come May 1st, and hopefully we'll get some revenue coming in. Hopefully we'll get some new refinances. Hopefully we'll start cashing out on some of that stuff. But now there's still rumors and just people giving their opinions that, hey, it seems like this moratorium extension is going to be likely. Now, at this point, I would really believe either way, because it's been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back so many times. It's like, hey, it's going to be lifted one of these times. We're going to get going. But also, since it has been delayed and pushed back so many times, it's not like the freaking 5th or 6th delay is going to surprise me all that much. That'd be kind of naive. So that's just kind of where Seeking Alpha lies. I thought that was kind of interesting. Last 2 articles that have been posted, within the last day or two about SoFi. We also have this post on the SoFi stock subreddit talking about how the SoFi stock is not flying mainly due to uncertainty. SoFi stock is not flying mainly due to uncertainty, and that should resolve in the near term, in this guy's opinion. Long SoFi holders should prevail. They say that SoFi has continued to deliver stellar financial performances. The extension of the student loan moratorium is likely to weigh on SoFi's Q1 financials. We have uncertain macro and geopolitical environment, further restricted recovery. We have SoFi's long-term fundamentals are remaining strong, and SoFi's stock price forecast on tip ranks shows strong upside potential. So again, yes, stock price fluctuations can be really, really crazy in the short term. And yes, these first 3 months of 2022 have been tough if you've been a SoFi shareholder, especially coming into the year and you see your positions down 40% or whatever. But for people who are, continuing to add, continue to buy, or just holding strong, a lot of the fundamentals of this company haven't changed. And if anything, they've maybe improved throughout the course of this year. We've seen the bank charter come out in 2022. We've seen Technesis get acquired in 2022. We've seen Noto and a lot of the kind of C-suite at SoFi buying the dip and loading up on shares. There have definitely been some good signs for the future, but you just got to zoom out, see the bigger picture a little bit. But nothing's guaranteed. It doesn't mean SoFi's going to be a home run or that it's even going to go up at all. Maybe SoFi stagnates. Maybe they miss out on other goals. Maybe they miss out on other expectations, whatever. Maybe this thing tanks. It's possible, but if you believed in SoFi long-term before, there's still a lot of good signs. There's still a lot of good news. So people kind of keeping that in mind. Jamie Dimon, shareholder letter today. From this morning, the growing competition to banks from each other, shadow banks, fintechs, and large technology companies is intensifying and clearly contributing to the diminishing role of banks and public companies in the United States and the global financial system. So you can see there, JP Morgan seems worried. They don't specifically say SoFi, but SoFi is part of this. It's SoFi and another basket of other companies, banks, financial institutions. They are all coming for the traditional banks and for the customers and the money of traditional banks, and it seems like Jamie Dimon is feeling that pressure a little bit. So that was kind of interesting to hear as well. WrestleMania 2023 going to be held at SoFi Stadium. Another awesome opportunity for one, SoFi to get return on investment for that naming rights deal, and two, just for SoFi's name in the stadium and everything to be broadcast to a very, very large audience. Kind of exciting news. I wanted to, I thought that was interesting, so I wanted to throw that in there. This guy talking a little bit about revenue per member. So he says, I posted this before. Tried getting member breakdown between financial services and lending segments. I believe I covered that in the video. So he figured he would try to get an approximation of members from the earnings report. So the only way to do this was using the products. Lending has 3 products, but members can have one of each at most, meaning that the lowest amount of members lending can have is the highest single type, which is the personal loans with $600,000. He kind of goes into this full breakdown. And he says, considering financial services revenues for 2021 was $58 million, SoFi made between $20 and $24 per member in 2021. In terms of products, that is $14.19 per product. Considering lending revenue was $738 million, SoFi made between $684 and $1,210 per member in 2021. In terms of products, that is $684 per product. Noto has also mentioned in the BOA interview that 60% of the members in lending were existing members. While probably not accurate, it is possible to assume that 40% of new members are in lending, if it isn't actually much lower in reality. So hey, he gives some of the numbers. He throws out some stuff. I think it's really, really cool when people are doing their own due diligence and trying to do some research. And even if this guy's wildly off or some of the stuff is inaccurate or whatever, it still shows a really, really strong and cool community with SoFi, and that people are at least trying and care enough about the company and the numbers and everything to dig this deep into something. But maybe this gives you at least some kind of ballpark estimate about the potential revenue per member for SoFi. I have no idea how accurate this is or how correct it is or whatever, but again, I would assume it's at least a safe general ballpark number. How would SoFi and other fintechs do in a recession? I think is a very, very fair question, especially because a lot of people are worried about, hey, maybe we're not going to see a recession in 2022. Maybe we will, but everyone, is kind of like, well, hey, probably in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see a recession at some point. So, hey, how would SoFi and other fintechs do And the top comment here says, their largest revenue stream, lending, would take a big hit. Higher default rates would also impact. Fintech in general would also be hit hard. Slower pace of payments means less need for Galileo. A recession would be bad for SoFi. How bad? Hard to say, and I do agree with that. Obviously, it would be bad, especially because these are more speculative companies or more forward-looking companies. Companies like SoFi are going to be high PE, high price to sales, that kind of stuff where you're pricing in a lot of growth and opportunity and stuff in the future. So taking those short-term hits would hit those companies extra hard. So definitely not like a recession-proof or great recession play or anything like that. But, no one knows when that next recession is coming, obviously. And then finally here, this post talking about the potential international expansion even further for SoFi. They've been aiming at the UAE and Singapore. That was the other company I couldn't think of. But now possibly news that they may be expanding to Canada, but it says not Canada yet, but maybe Canada is on that radar, and maybe there's some other countries, areas, territories, whatever, on their radar to continue to grow globally, internationally, whatever you want to say, and that could be pretty cool. It could be bad, but it could be good also. So that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. If you drop a like if you did enjoy it, I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about SOFI. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hope to catch you guys in the next one. But until then.